Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mogi Beth, and for those of y'all who are new here, I own a six-figure reselling business where I sell mainly women's clothing on places like Poshmark, Mercari, Tradesy, and eBay. We're gonna dive straight into today's topic because I really think this is a topic that's gonna be super helpful, and it's one that I'm super excited to talk about, and that is how to achieve daily sales in your reselling business. We've been wanting to discuss this for a really long time, and after getting some amazing feedback from our survey, we decided to finally jump into this topic. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you'd take 5 minutes to just answer that survey down below. It's entirely anonymous and it really helps us better understand the content that you want to see so that we can provide more value. And just a quick disclaimer, even if you're already having daily sales, I definitely recommend sticking around to the end of the video because we are going to go over some business concepts that are useful regardless of where you're at within your reselling journey. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if this video is helpful to you, share it with someone who you think would find it helpful as well. I think it's really empowering to share the knowledge. Okay, so let's quickly go over just the structure of this video. First, we're going to discuss what I actually mean when I say daily sales. And then second, we'll discuss what we have to focus on within our business in order to achieve that goal. Next, we'll go over how to actually make that happen. And then lastly, we're going to discuss some of the pitfalls and places where I often see resellers just go wrong. Okay, so first topic, first things first, what do we mean by daily sales? And for the purposes of this video, we're going to focus on the goal of averaging 1 sale per day, which means approximately 30 sales per month. Averaging 1 sale per day, however, does not mean exactly 1 sale per day because reselling, like any retail, is influenced by market demand, economic conditions, seasonality, and a whole host of variables completely outside of our control. And for that reason, it is pretty common to have 1 sales day with like 5 sales and then followed by 2 days of just 0 sales. And that's just the nature of the industry. So if your goal is to have at least 1 sale per day, you may instead actually want to set your monthly sales goal to 1.5, 2 times, or even 2.5 times that 30 sales per month number, which would bring you to 45, 60, and 75 items per month respectively. I mean, the truth is we can't know exactly what the threshold is when it comes to closet size and at least 1 daily sale. Perhaps there is some level where we could reasonably be confident that you would have a daily sale, but that's just kind of a level of math that is beyond the scope of this video or really of this channel. But more importantly, even if you set your aim high, meaning at least 1 per day, you may still incur 0 sales days. If you go back and watch my monthly sales videos from last year, 2020, you'll see videos where I would have 5-figure sales months, but then also still have $0 sales days within those months. So while I know all too well that it does feel really good to put your head on your pillow at night knowing you've made sales, knowing you have money coming in, it's important as a reseller to not get discouraged when that doesn't happen and focus on the aggregate, the overall average monthly performance of your reselling business. Okay, so for the purposes of this video, let's just say that you wanted to average 1 sale per day and make 30 sales per month. In order to know how to get there, there's a variable that we need to know, and that is our sell-through rate. Our sell-through rate is a percentage of our closet that sells within a given period of time. And typically for resellers, this means within a month. So for example, if you have on average 80 listings in your closet during a month period, and you sell 20 items over that month, you'll have a sell-through rate of 25%. Our Reseller Spreadsheet, which many of y'all use, and we have for sale on our website for $25, mogibeth.com, will calculate this number for you, and you can actually compare your sell-through rate month over month, which is really helpful in my opinion and has been helpful in my business. If you're brand new to Poshmark, you may just not have enough data to calculate your sell-through rate, or at least calculate it in an accurate way. So while there are no industry averages, because your sell-through rate really depends on your business model, I would suggest starting at or using 18 to 20% for your sell-through rate if you don't have that data in order to make that calculation for your particular business model. Okay, so now you know how many sales per month you want, 30, and you know your sell-through rate. So using some basic algebra, we can actually derive how many items you need in your closet in order to achieve this goal of daily sales. Because the thing is, many resellers have the goal of having daily sales, but not every reseller knows what closet size is actually necessary in order to make that happen. So this is the basic formula. Let's use 30 sales per month as our goal with a 25% sell-through rate. If we set sales equal to sell-through rate times closet size and then substitute for the known variables, we'll have 30 sales equals a 25% sell-through rate multiplied by our closet size. A little algebra later and we have 30 divided by 0.25 equals closet size, or our closet size needs to be 120. And that's it. It's really that simple. Taking your sales goal and dividing it by your sell-through rate will tell you how many listings you'll need in order to achieve that goal. And it is important to note that this is an expected value, so of course it's not guaranteed, but I can tell you from my experience that over the long run, it is surprisingly accurate when forecasting future sales. All right, well that's simple enough, but now I want to break down what this formula actually means. In this formula, we've got three variables: our goal number of sales per month, our sell-through rate, and our closet size. If we change any one of these variables, it will have an effect on the others, but first, let's take a look at sell-through rate. As resellers, it should really constantly be our goal to be striving to increase our sell-through rate, but how can we do that? One of the biggest differences that I find between resellers who are actively trying to grow their reselling business versus ones that are a little bit more casual about it is the amount of research they're willing to put in before they ever even step foot in the thrift store. In our course, which you can find on mogibeth.com, I actually spend a whole module talking about the research that I do within my own business to increase that sell-through rate. And really the feedback that we've gotten from those of y'all who have purchased the Poshmark reseller course told us that this research module was overwhelmingly y'all's favorite and really the biggest game changer within your business. Doing adequate research on a consistent basis will allow you to assess market demand, and it will help you identify BOLO brands or styles within already known brands that will sell faster and or for a higher average sales price. There are, of course, other steps you can take within your reselling business in order to influence or improve your sell-through rate, such as sale generation tactics or different pricing strategies, but really I find the biggest differentiating factor for resellers that won't hurt their bottom line is research. Okay, so you're increasing your efforts to improve your sell-through rate. Let's then turn to the other variable in this equation, our closet size. Increasing your closet size is the most obvious and straightforward way to increase your monthly sales. It's also really gratifying just to see that number steadily increasing over time. And truth be told, this closet growth is what I focused on most within my business in 2020. But, and I know from experience, increasing your closet size does come with potential risks and pitfalls, and that's really what I want to discuss in the last part of this video. Okay, so there are four major pitfalls that resellers often face when undertaking closet growth. Pitfall number one is one that I'm sure y'all are familiar with, and that is filling your closet with subpar inventory. I think all of us have potentially been here at some point or another, because often when resellers aim for aggressive expansion of their closet, they make the mistake of loosening their standards when it comes to inventory selection, because after all, that is the easiest way to find more inventory. Just lower your performance expectations. But of course, this leads you to pick up things that you otherwise wouldn't in the name of growth. However, and I think y'all know where I'm going here, this can have a massive impact on the other variable that we just discussed, and that is your sell-through rate. While sourcing subpar inventory is the quickest way to grow your closet, it's also just the fastest way to drive down that sell-through rate. So while it may be true you're growing your closet size, the gains are usually offset by that decrease in sell-through rate, and then you'll find yourself stuck holding on to a bunch of mediocre, saturated, or really just plain unsellable inventory. Okay, so pitfall number 2, forgetting the need for inventory replenishment. This depends on your sell-through rate, but in general, growing your inventory does not come with instant gratification. It usually takes several weeks, if not months, to see the fruits of your labor. So let's circle back to our example of a closet of 100 pieces and a sell-through rate of 25%. Say you want to double your closet size to 200. In this scenario, let's say you're only part-time and thus you're only able to source and list 50 items per month. It's not as simple as taking that 100 item increase and dividing it by 50 and making it equal to 2 months worth of work. And that's because we have to replenish the inventory that we're selling every single month, which is 25% in this case. So it will take much longer to get to that 200 item mark than 2 months because you have to replenish what you sold. In this case, if you have a closet size starting out at 100 and your sell-through rate is 25%, you will be projected to sell 25 items. So you'll need to list 25 just to replenish that inventory, and anything beyond that would contribute to your growth. So by listing 50, you'd only have a surplus of 25. This is why it really requires a sustained, heightened effort month after month, because the larger your closet size, the more you'll sell and the more you'll need to replenish in order to just maintain your level of sales performance. And that's something that we often see in this community. Resellers will work really, really hard to hit a milestone and then realize that that level of effort is completely unsustainable. And that's why consistency is so important. It's better to grow at a slower, sustainable pace and create systems around that growth than it is to grind it out for 2 months and become completely burnt out. Okay, so now let's discuss pitfall number 3, and that is diminishing returns. Diminishing returns is an economic law stating that if one input in the production of a commodity is increased while all other inputs are held fixed, a point will eventually be reached at which additions of the input yield progressively smaller or diminishing increases in output. As resellers, when discussing daily sales, what this means is that it's really hard for you to maintain a constant sell-through rate while growing. Why is that? Well, even if you avoid pitfall number 1 and you maintain the quality of your inventory, there will still typically be a natural dip in your sell-through rate when you're trying to grow your closet. And this is due to the lag that we normally reference on this channel with regards to the difference in time between when you list an item and when it actually sells. If you've watched our monthly sales videos in 2020, you know that average and median days is how we account for our days to sell. And in our business, we typically expect it takes approximately 2 months for an item to move. So immediately you may infer the problem here. If we reference our previous example, it takes 1 month to list 50 items. However, on average, it takes 2 months to sell those 50 items. Moreover, on average means that we shouldn't expect all 50 of those items to sell within those 2 months. Some will sell quickly and others not so much. So we'll still be carrying some of our less in-demand items after that 2-month period. Since we're able to list items faster than we're able to sell them on average, this will naturally force a dip in our sell-through rate when we are trying to grow our business. Luckily, in the long run, our sell-through rate actually should return to normal levels once we reach a new equilibrium where we are selling the exact amount of items that we're listing. But that newly found equilibrium will also mean that we're no longer growing. So essentially, growing your closet will naturally lead to a lower sell-through rate. And that's 100% normal and really not something to be discouraged by. I think too often as resellers, after we make a change to our business, we try to solve a newly arisen problem before we just allow our business to adjust to this new change. But growing pains are a natural and necessary part of increasing your sales. And so if you're experiencing a decrease in sell-through rate from growing your closet size, just know that's completely, totally normal. Okay, and that brings us to our last pitfall, pitfall number 4, and that's underestimating the amount of necessary investment. Too often we underestimate the amount of inventory necessary to grow, or really more importantly, underestimate the cost of that inventory. When we think we need to add 100 items to our closet, we forget that the cost of that inventory is 100 items times our average cost of goods. And looking at it that way is a good reminder that growth requires investment. In our business this January 2021, we're actually on track to have our first $20,000 plus sales month, which is really exciting, but we'll actually end up selling over 300 items in order to hit that number. And just to replenish that inventory, I would have to take that number of whatever we sell and multiply it by my average cost of goods in order to purchase the inventory necessary to try and just repeat the performance next month. But here's the deal, we're actually still trying to grow. So we try to list 600 items per month. And so if we take that number and multiply it by our average cost of goods, it turns into a significant amount of capital that I'm investing on a monthly basis. One of my favorite videos that we've ever released on this channel is actually a free module from our course, and I'll link it up on the screen. In it, I review the different business models within reselling, and I go over the different repayment periods for each business model. Cost of goods sold and sell-through rate have a huge impact on cash flow. So what ends up happening is that resellers will try to grow, see a decline in their sell-through rate like we discussed, underestimate the capital injection requirements, and then eventually just run out of steam. And so while in the long run they were doing a great thing for their business and trying to grow, it's really easy to feel like you cannot sustain or afford the growth if you don't consider all of the cost. And personally speaking, although we were very proud of our numbers last year, we really didn't take all of the money out that we could have from our business. We could have afforded to pay ourselves more, but instead we chose to keep growing. And I think that's an important point that gets glossed over often, and it's an important distinction that I wanted to make, because if you're reliant on reselling income and you're not able to reinvest in order to grow your business aggressively, that's completely okay. So I think slow, steady, sustainable growth might be the best choice for a lot of resellers. And while it's not the strategy that I'm currently pursuing, I think I will get to the point where I'm choosing to take out more owner's pay and focus less on growth. And with all that being said, I just think it's a really good reminder to never compare where you're at and what's best for you based on your own circumstance to others, because how you define success should be uniquely tailored to you and what you want out of this reselling business. And it shouldn't be based on what other people want and how other people define success. Okay, so with all that being said, I want to wrap up this video by just briefly going over everything that we talked about. The first thing we discussed is that if you want to average a sale per day, which means you'll have 30 sales per month, you'll want to divide 30 by your sell-through rate, and then you'll arrive at the closet size that you'll need to achieve that average daily sales goal. Again, the two ways to actually achieve that goal is by increasing your closet size and or increasing your sell-through rate. But remember, with growth of your closet size comes 4 pitfalls. The first is filling your closet with subpar inventory. The second is forgetting about inventory replenishment. The third is forgetting about diminishing returns. And then the last is underestimating the capital requirements for growth. I hope this video didn't overwhelm you or didn't overcomplicate matters, but instead embolden you with the knowledge and foresight to help navigate the growth that you want for your reselling business. So let us know if you have any questions in the comments down below. And again, if you found this helpful, share it with a reseller friend. As I grow my business, it's really exciting to see how y'all are growing your businesses, and it's just, I think, such a cool part of this community that we can learn from each other and grow together. And I hope this provides a helpful resource to y'all. So with that, I just want to say I love y'all. I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Okay, bye! Oh, before I go, I just wanted to mention that, again, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button for this video, hit subscribe, and hit the little bell icon if you want to be notified when we post new videos. And I've linked up on the screen other videos that we've done in the past all about reselling. Okay, see you on the next one. Bye!